If we talk about in terms of, let's just say everything comes up Goldilocks for Bitcoin and we continue to see risk on and we continue to see money printing, which obviously makes Bitcoin an even rarer commodity out there. I think what you have to start to do is you have to start looking at the all-time highs at 69,000. And I would dare say that you probably are even looking at 100,000. Again, the more money in the system, people have more money to put towards Bitcoin. And I think that, the government, I don't know if they're discounting people's kind of observance of what's going on, or if the politics just don't even allow for it. But at some point, people are going to turn and say, listen, the dollar at some point becomes a depreciating it is a depreciating asset even now, but even more so at a breakneck speed. And that's where Bitcoin can really take off to the upside.
Gareth Soloway is a well-known technical analyst, investor, and trader among cryptocurrency investors. He is recognized for his usually controversial opinions and predictions regarding Bitcoin. The short-term projection that Gareth has made for the most important cryptocurrency asset has not been very optimistic, despite the fact that he is bullish about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in the long run. Since the latter half of 2021, Gareth has been forecasting a significant decline in the price of Bitcoin. At one point, he predicted that the cryptocurrency may go below $3,500 per coin, which would be a decrease of 95 from its all-time high of $69,000. Also, Gareth cautioned that if the economy of the United States were to suffer a recession, the price of Bitcoin may drop below $12,000 or $9,000. On the other hand, Gareth seems to have shown a more positive attitude about Bitcoin in recent years. Gareth outlines his Bitcoin expectations in a recent interview with Kucoin News. This is particularly relevant in light of the recently authorized spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds and the increasing engagement of institutional investors. The opinions that Gareth holds toward Bitcoin are mixed. He offers his normal pessimistic forecast for Bitcoin, pointing out that the cryptocurrency could experience a decline in value in the event that the economy of the United States enters a severe recession and the stock market experiences losses. On the other hand, this is just one representation of Bitcoin. On the other hand, Gareth has a very hopeful outlook toward Bitcoin. It is during his conversation with Michelle McCory, the principal anchor and editor-in-chief of Kucoin, that Gareth makes the argument that his pessimistic stance on Bitcoin is connected to the gloomy macroeconomic realities in the United States. On the other hand, he goes on to say that if the Federal Reserve is successful in achieving a soft landing, which means reducing inflation without causing the economy to enter a recession, then there will be nothing that can prevent the prices of Bitcoin from rising. Gareth is certain that Bitcoin will easily surpass the current all-time high and achieve a new high of $100,000 if this scenario plays out. He believes that this breakthrough will occur. If Gareth is correct, the value of Bitcoin will rise. We are going to now show you some footage from the interview that Gareth had with Kucoin News. In order to view other videos similar to this one, please watch, share, and like this video, as well as subscribe to the channel and enable post alerts. Every action you take contributes considerably to the expansion of the channel and helps the YouTube algorithm become more efficient. Many thanks, and I hope you enjoy the video. Gareth has a discussion on Bitcoin exchange-traded funds ETFs outflows of GBTC and the reasons why Bitcoin values have declined despite the approval of the ETFs in the first part of the interview. Sure, without a doubt. Let's have a look at this graphic, which in my opinion sheds a lot of light on the situation and assists people in understanding what actually took place. In the event that we simply consider the past, and considering that I am a technologist, which means that I examine data sets in order to forecast the future, I have arrived at these conclusions for myself. In 2017, when the Bitcoin bull market was at its peak, futures were given the green light. In essence, they made their debut. There was a great deal of anticipation leading up to the announcement of that news, and the event that took place was the culmination of the cycle. Coinbase's initial public offering, iPay, was the first high in 2021, and it was the event that marked the beginning of the year. The amount of 30,000 was adjusted for us. Then later in 2021, we reached the second peak, which was the exchange-traded fund for Bitcoin futures. Is that correct? An additional high point was signified by that? Therefore, if you take a look at the regularity with which these enormous news events that generate a great deal of expectation build the top on Bitcoin, it makes perfect sense that that would be the key level or the reason why it would sell off on the news. It is now appropriate to discuss GBTC, which, as the name suggests, deals in Bitcoin, a great deal of astute money that was purchased before the announcement. As a result of the fact that GBT was trading at a large discount, there was an additional benefit for them personally. In addition, they are on the verge of making profits. The fact that the run-up is now in play is not lost on them. They are aware that regular investors will give a little part of their initial investment back. If the market continues to fall, this will simply add to the amount of backtesting that will be done. The fact that we are able to carry out a Fibonacci retrace should be one of the most exciting aspects of the 48 to 50,000 level, right? Therefore, we consider the high of 69,000 to be the absolute low of this bear market, which was around 15,000 and change. We also consider the low to be the absolute low. Take note of the Fibonacci trend line at 618. This precisely corresponds to the summit. I am finally going to demonstrate to you how I was able to reach the 48 to 50,000 level. If we take the high for 2019 and connect it to the lows of the bull market right here, we will arrive at the same level. Therefore, when I observe a convergence of levels, that is the moment when I am aware that there will be a great deal of opposition. Actually, it was the case. It's true, the situation is that. And you are absolutely right about the prices. GBTC is much more expensive than other options. Therefore, a specific quantity of money will be sold in the GBTC, and it will eventually be redirected into these other exchange-traded funds that have substantially lower expenses. In addition, I'm of the opinion that during that period of time, the only way to interact with your investment account at the various brokers when you were purchasing stocks was through GBTC. That was the only thing that was available. Either that or go to the futures market or go straight to Bitcoin on the spot market. It was either that or go to the futures market. As a consequence of this, a significant amount of capital was invested in Bitcoin, with the expectation that it will eventually be authorized as an exchange-traded fund ET. This feeling of disappointment is quite normal, especially when individuals say things like, okay, let me take some off the table here. Permit me to go ahead and collect my earnings after such a great run. The result is a combination of the two. In addition to selling because of the fee issue, in addition to normal profit grabbing, which may take place in any asset class and generate these wild runs, you have selling because of the fee issue. Taking a portion of the profits will occur. Continuing with the topic of Bitcoin exchange-traded funds ETFs. Analysts from JP Morgan published a market strategy note on Thursday, indicating that the outflows of GBTC have most likely come to a stop. In light of the fact that the outflows have finally come to a standstill, the analysts believe that the price reductions of Bitcoin will be limited from this point forward. In the past, analysts working for the financial giant expected that investors would withdraw $3 billion from GBTC as they sought to maximize their earnings. On the other hand, as of Wednesday, around $4.4 billion had been removed from the Grayscale Bitcoin deposit. Thank goodness analysts are convinced that the outflows are now in the past and that Bitcoin values will swiftly recover from their current state. The price of Bitcoin surpassed $41,000 for the first time since Monday, when it fell below that threshold. As of the time of this publication, the leading cryptocurrency asset has seen a growth of more over 3%, as indicated by statistics from CoinMarketCap. At this point, it would appear that the process of healing has started in earnest, and we are once again on our way. Let us go back to the conversation with Gareth Soloway, where he discusses his predictions for the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. It ought to take place sooner rather than later. My prediction is that it will reach a stable state within the next 2 weeks. I am most concerned about what will occur in the event